New episodes of the I Know You Didn't Ask podcast are out every Monday and Friday, available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Welcome to I Know You Didn't Ask. I'm your host, Megan O'Donnell, and yeah, I'm late. I don't care. I don't know. I have no excuses. Other than that, the sun is out, so it's really hard to hole up and sit inside and watch TV and read and do all of my research when the sun is shining. I need to be catching up on all the vitamin D that I've been missing over the last few months, so bear my delays. I currently have 4 jobs, but as of Tuesday, I will have 3. So I will actually be back to being diligent on this show. Again, the year of the guest. Might not seem like it for a minute there, but we're coming back, and we're coming back strong. So we have an incredibly busy day today. So, of course, we have to go through a little bit of hot topics. Then we'll talk a little bit about, this week in Crazy Bitches. And then we'll end the show talking about comedy. We'll talk a little bit about Paige DeSorbo and Hannah Berner's new show. Let's get right into the hard-hitting news, you guys. Every time I say the phrase "straight of her moves," I'm gonna need you to take a shot. But just kidding. We won't be talking anything about war. No war on this episode, so you'll only take one shot for straight of her move. Oop, guess that makes 2. But yeah, never heard that phrase. I'm not going to say it again. I don't want everyone getting drunk and driving and taking shots, but never heard that phrase, and I'm really ready to not hear it again. But again, as you guys know, we don't talk about important things on this show. We talk about fun, silly things. And I should caveat that, like talking about Tiger Woods' 12th DUI isn't fun or happy or silly, but I don't know, it's better than the impending war that our country's about to dive headfirst into, which I guess we already dove headfirst into. So anyways, I'm getting too ahead of myself. This is probably why I don't want to podcast lately, because it's very hard to get on the mic and talk about the bootleg Scandoval that we are finding ourselves knee deep in. You guys, is Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson hooking up? They are 2 losers from Summer House. West had a very tumultuous relationship with Sierra, and Amanda just got out of a very ugly marriage, I should say, with Kyle Cook. They're both currently single. They're both supposedly now dating one another. And I've been saying this from the jump. Amanda Batula is a loser. Yes, Kyle sucks. Yes, he's a weird, abusive, alcoholic, all of the things. 2 things can be true, people. But Amanda has forever been a lazy pick-me from literally season 1, episode 1, when we met her as Kyle's fuck buddy, who she ended up marrying. And from the jump, she was desperate to, give up her entire life to be with him. And don't get me wrong, Kyle at the time was very handsome, and he still is. It is shocking how handsome he is for being, someone who basically has every organ in their body fully pickled by tequila. But she's always been a desperate pick-me. And, she had Kyle, the number 1 guy in the group. She put up with anything and everything that he put her through. And that's the perfect type of dumb bitch woman that an abusive man loves. He's like, this woman will literally let me take a shit on her chest on live television, and she doesn't care. She's perfect. That's how men like him get away with abuse for so long, by having a woman who will literally put up with anything for, I guess, the security and the pleasure of being with this guy. And again, it beats me what, she was interested in Kyle all those years. And also, he's 10 years older than you. Usually, if you're going to be with an older guy, you're hoping he has, stability, or, might want a family sooner than your peers your age, or, financial security and money and all of these things that possibly could be beneficial when falling in love. But he didn't have any of those things. He simply just had Summer House. And now the blogs for a few weeks now have been saying that Amanda and West have been hooking up on the DL, and supposedly Amanda and Sierra had a brand deal for an Amazon Live that did not happen this past week. You guys, so much drama is happening on Amazon Lives. I feel like Candy Burris was announcing her divorce. Lala Kent was talking about shit on Amazon Live. Kyle Richards. Amazon really knows what they're doing with these lives. They're not only are we selling you KitchenAid mixers and a new set of, linen sheets, but we're also spilling the tea. And I think more people are watching for the gossip more so than to buy whatever crap Amanda Batula is shilling. I'm sorry. Like, I would never buy anything she buys. And don't get me wrong, she has a great style. But no, I'm not buying anything she's selling. And so supposedly they're hooking up, and, it's really not a surprise for me. I was kind of not on this train thinking that it was happening, but it seems like the train has gotten off the rails and neither of them have really made a statement vehemently denying this rumor, which kind of tells me that it could possibly be true. And it's just sad for poor Sierra, who has been going through the ringer with West. We see their relationship this current season where they're clearly into each other. He's touching her, she's touching him. She's trying to figure out, is she going to let this guy come back into her life and embarrass her yet again? Is she going to hold firm and try to find somebody else, but she really likes him? Like, we've all been in this situation. And so it's really depressing to see that there's a possibility that her friend Amanda, who she'd been confiding in all summer for the past few summers, is possibly now dating West. Again, I'm not surprised by Amanda's behavior because she's, again, a textbook definition of a pick me girl. And she's like, well, Wes is kind of like the hot new guy in the show and he's kind of nice to me. So let me, pick him and let me screw my friend over in the process. We'll see if any, additional information comes out in the next coming weeks. But honestly, this is truly the bootleg Scandoval. And Amanda won't rise on top from this because like, we've all seen her be abused by Kyle, and now we're seeing her like abuse her friendship with Sierra. It's like, two wrongs don't make a right, honey. Like, this is not going to work out for you. And she's like hot, she can have probably any guy she wants. Again, she'll put up with truly the worst behavior, so that is prime picking for any insecure loser man. So she really could have the hottest, richest guy she could find, and instead she's like, let me go for my friend's ex, who she is still clearly pining over. But again, you can't change a pick me. They will always be desperate to be picked, and it seems like she might want to be picked. And I mean, Sierra is like beautiful and sweet, and I feel like has really grown year over year, whereas Amanda has not changed one bit year over year. So it's definitely kind of upsetting that she would go and try to screw over Sierra. But again, we'll just wait and see. So let's pick up from last week's main topics, which was drunks. Alcoholic drunks. We know them, we love them. And last week I was begging for Justin Timberlake's DWI video to be released. Huger's body cam footage, like everything else is child's play. Like, this was like a normal drunk guy, who got pulled over driving a BMW rental. In the video, Justin Timberlake gets pulled over on the side of the road. I mean, the guy obviously asks him, what do you do? He goes, I'm on tour. And he said, a what? This is a world tour. And he goes, doing what? And then Justin Timberlake goes, it's hard to explain. And he says, I'm Justin Timberlake. And the guy goes, you're Justin Timberlake? And then they made him like walk, heel toe, walking on the line. Mortifying. I have to say, the cop was like giving Justin Timberlake instructions about like how to heel toe and when to do this and when to do this. And I was stone cold sober watching the video, and I myself was getting a little confused. And you see like Justin Timberlake like scratching his head. He's like, fuck, I know I can't do this. Like, even the instructions are confusing, let alone the actions. So then he's like, you guys, I only had one martini. And okay, bro, like, we've all had one martini. And these days, I feel like martinis are coming with a little sidecar. I don't know if you're a martini drinker, but it'll come with like a little baby sidecar, which is basically a second martini. So oftentimes you say, I had one martini, it's actually two martinis. And we all, again, know alcoholic math. One martini is two martinis. So with this form of math, it's technically like he's possibly drinking four martinis. And I know he probably didn't finish like elementary school or had like tutors on set of like the Mickey Mouse Club, but like, math is math. You didn't have one martini because one martini wouldn't have you bobbing and weaving through the roads. Then we see like one of his friends come up, and I don't know if it's his manager or his friend, but the friend is like, I usually look better than this. And like, that would be completely me. Like, I would come to like save my friend who was getting a DUI, but I'd be like, I know I'm going to be on police footage. Like, I didn't blow dry my hair. It's been really humid out. Like, I'm usually a little bit cuter. And she was basically like, can we take Justin home with us? Like, we'll drive him home. He doesn't have to drive anymore. And the cops are like, yeah, no, he's coming with us. He's not going with you. And then immediately she's like, well, if this is Justin Timberlake, like maybe give him a break because like you loved Sexy Back or you loved Bye Bye Bye. And this guy is like, ma'am, I was not born when Bye 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 was out. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referring to. So he ends up getting to the police station and he's like, I'm not doing a chemical test. I guess he was veering in between lanes. He wasn't stopping at stop signs. And then at one point, Justin, like, he's not being confrontational. He's like being quite a good little boy. And he's saying, like, is this the normal process for people? Like, AKA, like, is there a celebrity DWI process? Because, like, if there's a velvet rope, a photo op, like, if you guys want photos with me, like, that can possibly lessen my sentence. Like, is there a cash payoff? Do you guys have an ATM in here? Because I'll take out the max amount. I'll disperse it among the guys. You guys can all get your own beers later, when your shift is over. Just don't get a DUI, of course. And like, these are Long Island cops we're talking about. Like, they are very, very, very familiar with cash payoffs. Don't know if you guys have watched all the documentaries about the Gilgo Beach killer, but like, there is shady things happening in the police force out on Long Island. So like, they would be ready, willing, and able to take a cash payoff. Even they were like, bro, you're not getting off on this one. He had his entire arrest, put out in the public, and that's like so embarrassing. God knows his wife, Jessica Biel, was definitely not thrilled by this entire DUI situation. I don't know if it's DUI, WI, who cares? What's the difference? But like, social suicide for a couple. And like, Jessica Biel was obviously like not thrilled with him for a minute now because of, him holding hands with a former co-star about like 6 or 7 years ago. So she's already like, bro, you are on thin ice. And Jessica Biel is the ringleader of her own toxic mom group. She must have saw what Ashley Tisdale came out with in The Cut and was like, I am minutes, weeks, days, months away from being targeted as a toxic mom. And I can only imagine how toxic she is towards Justin as well. Okay, let's jump into another alcoholics tragedy. Tiger Woods was slammed on Friday for another DUI in Florida. He flipped his car in Jupiter Island, which again is also very close to Palm Beach, which is dangerously close to some of the most dangerous and ugly individuals in our society, including all the ladies from the Golden Era, the new show about the former Roni ladies, which, like, by the way, I am rewatching season 7 through 9 of Roni right now, and nothing compares to the psychosis of every single episode of that show. Like, there will never be a better group of ladies to be on television together. And I do know I called it Ultimate Girls Trip Old Bitch Edition on the last episode, so just bear with me, you guys. I'm doing a lot. My brain is very scrambled. Scrambled eggs and mashed potatoes. But we're trying. We're trying our best here. But Tiger Woods is always flipping a car or just having car problems in Florida. Like, I believe this is literally his like fifth DWI, DUI in the last few years. And the saddest part about Tiger Woods' latest DUI is that he did get pulled over around 2 p.m. to be exact. And he had to stay in the precinct for like 6 hours to burn off some of the booze. And so like he got released at like 7 p.m. Like, he still could make it to his dinner plans theoretically. But, a 2 p.m. DUI, like, he had to be starting early. And I feel like, he's very much obviously in the golf world. So he's definitely like hitting a quick 18 at a private golf club, followed by a wedge salad. Get it? Like a golf joke. And then like 4 to 6 Bloody Marys after, his 18-hole game. Like, I feel like he is very much a staple at the bar at his private golf club. And he was probably drinking some beers across the holes as well. One here on the 6th, one on the 13th, and then maybe one on the 17th. So I do feel like he definitely was having a rip-roaring good time and things got a little out of hand. Tiger Woods is a hot mess and it's sad. I mean, it's like so many other people we talk about, like this person who was on top of the world, then their wife leaves them because they were cheating and being like a terrible partner, and then their lives like crumble. And as of last year, he's also dating Vanessa Trump, which is the former daughter-in-law of Trump. Never forget the post that Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump put out last year when they were announcing to the world that they were dating, it said, "Love is in the air and life is better with you by my side. We look forward to our journey through life together," Woods wrote before hitting us with the classic celebrity request. "At this time, we would appreciate privacy for all of those close to our hearts." So, okay, so you're coming out with an entire post to let everybody know that love is in the air amongst the two of you losers. And then you're also telling us to not pay attention. So you can't have it both ways, Tiger. You can't be in the public eye and then also ask us to not comment and, you know, beg for privacy. Like when you ask for privacy, I don't know, to me, like you automatically lose privacy. Sorry. I don't know. All these men need to just get a driver. And I can imagine like a driver's annoying. You have to text them, "Hey, I'm out here." And then you have to like deal with them like not being able to find a spot. And then you might want to just like be alone. I don't know. Like if I was a celebrity and I wasn't able to like drive places on my own, like when would I find time to cry? When would I find time to listen to Bill Withers so loud in the car just by my lonesome? Like when would I be able to just be driving down the road and I don't know, pull into a McDonald's drive-thru and get a hash brown and a Diet Coke, tell no one, throw out all of the remnants of my poor choices. Like it must be hard to not have like any of those basic freedoms of just being a regular person. And so again, not condoning him getting a 2 p.m. DUI, but I will say like I can imagine um the burden of being famous and not being able to do anything for yourself probably feels very restricting. But you guys, we are going to touch on the latest with the Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie situation. You guys, I'm sorry, but did anybody see Begonia? Like, I know it's too soon, but like to make giggly jokes, but I'm definitely, obviously, thinking she's dead. Like, RIP. Savannah Guthrie ended up going onto an interview on the Today Show with Huda last week. And to be honest, I'm so glad she didn't go on Drew Barrymore's show. Like, if Drew Barrymore was like full 10 fingers, like hands clasped with one another, like inches away from one another's face, while Savannah's like sobbing about her, missing mother, I probably would have had to, I don't know, call Better Business Bureau. Like I would have had to like call some sort of like reporting agency and to report them for, doing a terrible job protecting Savannah's personal space. So basically, Savannah's talking with Hoda, kind of saying what we all know, which is like, there's no news. Like, there's no news, there's no updates, and we have nothing. And Savannah was under the impression that there were some kind of medical episodes, and they came out with a few pieces of information that we didn't really know. Basically, the back doors were propped open. We saw the video of the intruders entering the home, but we never saw any of them exiting the home. So safe to say they went out the back door. There was blood on the doorstep, which we knew, and the room camera was also ripped off the wall. All information that we did know. Her phone, her purse, and all of her things were still in the home. And Savannah mentioned that her mother's physical decline had been a lot more serious than I think we were privy to. She had a very bad back. She was in tremendous pain constantly. And they said this pain was so serious that like she could barely walk to the mailbox. And then obviously it gets to the ransom notes. She said some of them she didn't think were real. She said some of them did seem real. And she said like the person who's sending fake ransom notes like needs to look inward. Like you are a sick, twisted loser. And I can again only imagine, the type of true psycho like writing a fake ransom note for Nancy Guthrie. Like get a fucking hobby. Like what? Like get a boyfriend or girlfriend on ChatGPT. Like you can find love through like the digital space. Like you don't need to write ransom notes for sweet 85-year-old women who were stolen out of their fucking bed in the middle of the night. Like get a fucking hobby. Go to LARPing classes and learn how to joust with your friends in the park. Ultimate frisbee, uh, adult soccer leagues, ceramics, knitting, stained glass classes. Like there are so many things you could be doing with your time that don't involve writing fake ransom notes to Nancy Guthrie. And like unless you're like doing a collage era moment where you're like literally like cutting out letters from a magazine to like put them into a ransom note that like could kind of look like art, like you're a fucking loser. Like if you're printing out your ransom note at your home with your Epson, you're a fucking loser. I'm sorry. I absolutely stand with Savannah on this one. And so she ends up saying basically that she's like now blaming herself. And in the early conversations, in the early days of this happening, she was talking with her brother and she kind of asked her brother, like, do you think this could possibly be because of who I am? And the brother was like, yeah, maybe. Lol's like, lol. Like, it could be you. Like, you did this to our family, which is devastating. Like, her success causing this tragedy, like, should not even exist. Like, that's so completely unfair. She was so devastated. I mean, honestly, like, it gave me the chills watching this, like, the devastation and the agony, pure agony in her voice and her face was just devastating to watch. Like, it's like something I've never seen before, a type of pain I've never obviously personally experienced. I've my pain is like, I have to get a bikini wax every 3 months. Like, that's the pain I'm living in right now. Beauty is pain. But yeah, my mom hasn't been like abducted in the middle of the night yet. You know, it could always happen. It could always happen. But like, I am pretty anti-Trump, and I am down to give Epstein's victims a voice, which I think are two of the things that people are saying that like could have caused someone crazy to target Savannah's mother. But again, like, it's so disgusting and unfair that her success had caused this tragedy, and to live with that for the rest of her life is so scary and terrible. And she kept saying that it's never too late to do the right thing, meaning like if there's a body, if you have any information, like it's never too late to just give in and admit that this is a problem and that this was like not okay. Oh my god. I feel so bad. It was so difficult to watch. And Hoda did a lovely job conducting the interview with poise and professionalism in the best way humanly possible. I mean, like, how do you go about prepping for an interview of this magnitude? It is so scary. And I just, all of a sudden I'm praying now, but like, I do pray for their family and I hope, there can be some closure eventually. Again, it's so shocking that there is like nothing for the FBI or the police force or anybody to really grab onto on this case. Like, there is just so much confusion around it. And like, in the world that we're living in, the age that we're living in, with ring cameras and videos everywhere, like, we kind of live in a surveillance state. But like, not when it comes to Nancy Guthrie. It's just bizarre. It's really, really bizarre and really frightening, honestly. Okay, I was going to talk about Chapel Roan, but I don't care. Nobody cares. Chapel Roan, nobody cares. You're too young to be acting like such a little diva. I don't know, like, Mariah Carey being a diva is fun. Chapel Roan being a diva, it's still like, honey, you've just started your career in Hollywood. Like, pump the brakes. But you guys, let's get into the segment this week called Bitches Be Crazy. And we have two crazy bitches this week. Taylor Frankie Paul. We all know her at this rate. Like, became famous for dancing on TikTok and then exposing her group's swinging, getting on the show Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, all about the friend group, aka Mom Talk, which is just moms dancing together on TikTok. And Mom Talk blew up, and Taylor was the breakout star of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Long story short, season one, we see Taylor Frankie Paul getting arrested in the first episode. This is about February 2023. And this show is already on like season 12. They are filming nonstop. And it's a little bit overwhelming. And if you guys know me, you know I've had to recuse myself from being involved in watching that show. I no longer can watch it. It's far too dark. All of the people on this show are completely addicted to chaos and drama, especially Taylor Frankie Paul. And we saw the video of Taylor Frankie Paul and her boyfriend, baby daddy, whoever, who knows what they're labeling themselves as at this point. But basically, we saw the footage that Dakota had taken of one of their blow up fights that caused the arrest. And she's screaming, she's crying, she's allegedly drunk. We see her 5-year-old daughter is there as well. We don't see her. I think you could see like a silhouette of her body, but the camera never shows her. Taylor is screaming, unhinged, and then begins throwing stools in the home. And one of the chairs, the stools, hits one of her children, who I believe was about 5 years old at the time. All of a sudden, you start hearing like blood curdling screams. So that was pretty devastating. Again, there's like limits to what I find palatable, and not that like some of this shit is palatable, but like every other story I've talked about, I'm like, Nancy Guthrie's mom still in the middle of the night, Justin Timberlake's DWI video. Like, I'm watching fucked up things pretty regularly. But this video was particularly upsetting. Again, we don't know what the fuck is going on, but hearing a sweet child sobbing about it um is really dangerous and really scary and deeply damaging. So we all know Taylor Frankie Paul has been a goddamn mess on this show since the jump. I've always said it, and I've always said, like, why are we platforming this like abusive woman? Again, she probably was instigated to become that way, and again, I know it takes two to tango. And Dakota doesn't seem like some kind of saint. But Taylor Frankie Paul also does seem like she's completely addicted to chaos and drama and is constantly seeking out unhealthy situations rather than like just, I don't know, being chill. Like I think like some people just like don't have that in them when we see this playing out year over year on the show. Problems with her mom, problems with the husband, problems with the baby daddy, problems with her friends. And naturally, ABC decided to platform her. They said, let's get you on network television. Let's get you off this dumb Hulu streaming only show and let's get you on prime time, baby. And so they made her the Bachelorette, which again is hilarious. Like, I wonder if Taylor Frankie Paul is the only Bachelorette who has a rap sheet including domestic violence on it. But ABC said, we love her. We want to put her on the show. She films the season. The show was supposed to air last week. And ABC ended up canceling the entire show as of this point. And ABC had to have known her drama, her past, and they still went forward with it, which is kind of unbelievable in a sense. And I've always been saying this on this very show that it was shocking that they decided to pick her out of all of the crusty, desperate women on that show. But again, she was the star, she has star power. Whether you like it or not, whether she's throwing chairs or not, she does have something likable about her. And I think it's because she's always been very open and she's not very guarded on what's going on in her secret life. She's always kind of lived out loud. And I think she's living a little too out loud. ABC ended up pulling the show. However, I'm gonna say they're going to be airing this probably on streaming only. That is going to be my take in this entire situation. They're like, we cannot leave this footage on the cutting room floor. It is so good. And she's not even supposedly with any of the guys that were on the show. That's kind of giving away a bit of the magic of the show. But again, she's not like the sharpest tool in the shed. So even months ago, she was like posting videos with one of the guys that won. It's like, all right, so he's tall and white with big arms. Let's slash this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, now we've got 8 people. Eagle-eyed fans are probably going to be able to figure out who that guy would have been. So ABC actually ended up posting a Instagram this week saying, bless this mess, with a video of her and like her Bachelorette promo video. So a part of me does think this will be on streaming. And again, they were going to get a huge ratings bump by having her on the network show in general. But I feel like now, after, her abuse scandal, and again, like this abuse scandal, like has been known, like this is not new information, but because the video came out supposedly by Dakota leaking it himself, people are going to want to watch even more. It's like watching it's like watching a car crash. Unfortunately, people are really into that. So then we also have some other Mormon drama, which like I guess Jessie and her gay husband Jordan broke up, and she was on Call Her Daddy, where she, along with many other busted hoes, go to tell their side of the story. But supposedly Jessie is now having an emotional sexual relationship with Chase, who's Miranda's ex, who Taylor also had something with. Jessie also had an emotional affair with Marciano, who Demi also kind of was into. Let's not forget, all of these ladies became famous on the backs of a swinging scandal. So let's not forget how we got here. All of these women are fucking sexual deviants. They're sexual pests and have been since day one. And I'm not a fucking kink shamer. I'm into doing all the things. Do whatever makes you happy. But had all you ladies just like gone to college and like experienced young adulthood in like a safe and independent way, hooked up with people, had fun, and then later in your 20s, that's when you like enter marriages and decide like maybe I want to be a parent with this person. But like this lack of exploration during your younger years and like your repressed childhood from being freak Mormons has like completely made your brains all work at the level of like a 14-year-old. Like they're all living out their like sexual repression in real time, but it's not as like fun and cute anymore when you have children and families and you're on television and everybody and their mother is getting a divorce. Like Michaela and that groomer guy are going to get divorced. Like it's all just a fucking mess. And all these women are like so unaspirational to young women watching them. And I think we've been seeing a trend recently of like these trad wives and women who are like getting married a lot younger and moving into families a lot younger. And like, that's beautiful. Do you? Like, if you're happy and in love and you want to have a baby in a safe space, go off and do it. But like, these people, I think, were like doing those milestones in their lives just to check boxes and to fall in line with their Mormon society. Whereas, like, clearly none of them were, like, ready to be parents or, like, ready to be partners because they want to, like, bang guys in Europe. Like, hello, like, that's fun. I don't blame Demi and Jesse for falling in love with Marciano in the south of France or wherever the fuck they were. But, like, all of them are just so desperate for sexual attention, attention in general, changing how they look so drastically. Like they're all looking for chaos and like searching for this freedom because they grew up in such a strict and repressive society. Like that's why religion is weird, y'all. Like I'm sorry, no offense, but it can get a little dicey and I think we're seeing it like time and time again. And these women are just like so embarrassing and so foolish that like it's scary that like so many people in pop culture are talking about them and their actions are going to have like serious consequences. And right now they all think it's like fun and games. They're like, oh my god, we're on shows, we're making a lot of money as influencers, but like that's not going to be forever. Like none of you guys have like the star power of some of the other people on the show. Like Whitney knew what she was doing. She's like, all right, I'm going to move out of Utah. I think she's selling her house. She's literally on Broadway, like selling out Chicago in a way that like Chicago's never sold before, even when Ariana or Erica Jane or any of these other impressive chanteuses were up on stage. But she's kind of doing her own thing. Taylor Frankie Paul was trying to kind of get out of the fray, but obviously got back in the fray because, she lost her job at ABC. But it's just not a bunch of women that I think people should be looking up to. And like the casual abuse, the casual cheating, and like, yes, it's messy to an extent. And it's actually like not fun. And like summer should be fun. And Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, not fun. Taylor Frankie Paul, get fucked, but God knows your show will be airing, and I will likely watch it. I'll definitely watch like the first few eps, but then towards the end, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like, this is all stupid and pointless. Speaking of other bitches who have just fucking lost their mind, I mean, Huda Mustafa. I mean, both Huda and Taylor Frankie Paul are just running around terrorizing people with undiagnosed personality issues, but we're again watching both of them live out loud on television. Huda was on this past season of Love Island. She was the queen of the crash out. I will say she gave so many great facial expressions of pure anger and rage that she's just like perfectly memeable. But after the season ended, Huda immediately got into this relationship with a guy named Lewis, who's a British reality star on Too Hot to Handle, Perfect Match, and a bunch of other shows. So they got pretty hot and heavy like immediately after the reunion. And even Huda at the reunion was saying to Andy Cohen, like, oh, I've changed. I'm changed. Like, we're good. I'm changed. Fully changed. New woman. But it seems like she's not. This past week, we got word that there's now a restraining order on Huda for Lewis's baby mama. So again, these are like people who are so fucking D-list, but we gotta quickly talk through this, and this will be a quick little segment. So feel free to fast forward if you truly do not care. But I always just find like the psychosis of others to be really fascinating. Like sometimes I think I'm nuts, and then you see things like what we're seeing with Taylor Frankie Paul, and now this Huda girl's text messages, and you just realize like, oh no, Megan, you're good. Like you're fine. You're safe. Like, don't frickin' worry. You've got it under control. So it seems like Lewis wasn't texting Huda back and they were still together, but it seems like they're fighting based on some of these text messages. And Lewis actually ended up putting these text messages out into the world, which like that's always good, right? That's always going to make your abusive psycho partner, feel safe and comfortable. So Lewis's baby mama, whose name is Nicole Oliveira, ex girlfriend, baby mama, and they have a 1 year old together. Basically, Huda tried to break into her home because she was looking for Lewis, who wasn't responding to her. So she assumed that, I guess, she assumed that Lewis was with the baby mama, and he was saying, I'm not in a, and so we just see psychotic text messages. I'm not in a safe place, Lewis. Am I even allowed to tell you these things? Do you care? I'm just going to lay here. I'm not at the hotel, by the way. I don't know if you care about that. I'm going to your baby mama's house in the Uber now. I'm about to be at Nick's. Why are you not answering? And then she sends him like the Uber map, and it says drop off at 1:08 a.m. Bitch, go to bed. I'd be 4 cycles deep into REM at this point. She said, you believe me? Here's proof. What are you doing? Are you cheating on me? Are you cheating on me? All caps. I'm at the apartment now, so either you see me right now or I'm knocking at every door. I know the area you said the apartment was in. How could you do this to me? It's 1:30 a.m. and you expect me to believe you're not with a bitch? You never don't answer this much. Then she proceeds to say, I swear on my daughter's life, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm sorry I lied about what I lied about, but I was always honest. That is one of my favorite quotes ever. I'm sorry I lied about what I lied about, but I was always honest. Girl, make it make sense. Then she continues on with like weird suicidal ideations. Bye, my sweet handsome man. Your beautiful girl loves you more than anyone will know. And I mean, we're not going to get too deep into other text messages, but like, bitch, you are crazy. I'm glad this woman got a restraining order against you. And I'm glad like the world is also seeing that like change doesn't happen overnight. Like a woman like Huda, who we saw behave so abhorrently on Love Island, isn't just going to take a full 180 and change and be like a healthy, stable person. She's also another mother, which like, by the way, birth control exists for a reason. Like I wish there was more sexual education out there because like sex is fun, do not get me wrong, but we do not need to be having kids at 20, 21 years old and then like having them be involved with like your current psychosis. And like, didn't we all see Danielle Staub with her daughters on the Real Housewives of New Jersey? Like, you don't want your kid to be involved in like all of your scheming and scamming and like the scary things you're doing. Like, it feels like everything is a little bit more layered when you have a child. And like, Huda, it's 1:30 in the morning, maybe the guy is literally asleep, and like maybe he doesn't want to be with you because you are lying to him. I'm sorry I lied about what I lied about and I was always honest. Okay, girl. I don't know. I mean, again, who's surprised at this bitch who crashed out so hard on television about a guy she like probably knew for like 47 hours at that point? Like, why would we think that she's going to be like a reformed good woman who can, have like a proper adult relationship? It's insane. Okay, let's just jump into some comedy news. You know me, I'm always on the fucking brink of the latest in comedy news. And we just got an update this past week that Paige Sorbo and Hannah Berner will be getting a new show that is produced by the one and only Amy Poehler. So this project will bring the longtime friends into a scripted format where they will portray fictionalized versions of themselves in a story set in New York City. Like, this is going to be the rich girl version of Broad City. And I've never seen either of them in any kind of acting role, so that should definitely be interesting. But they've already been on a show portraying themselves, and they weren't being scripted, we don't think. And that's like what people really liked about them. And so I don't know if I need to like particularly see them acting. And I found this to be the case with Sebastian Maniscalco, another comedian who I love. He has tried a million different parts, whether it's playing himself in movies or playing other roles. And like, I can't see him as that type of actor because I just see him as himself. And so I feel like I will feel that way towards Paige and Hannah. But again, this is pretty impressive. So go off, queens. So happy for you. The project's being written by Hannah and Paige alongside Kay Cannon, who is going to be the showrunner, who's made pretty major projects, Pitch Perfect series. She wrote for 30 Rock as well as New Girl, so great, great programs. And Paper Kite Productions, which is Amy Poehler's company, also did produce a couple of shows that everybody knows, one being, again, Broad City. So I wasn't wrong when I said this is going to be the rich girl version of Broad City, but also Difficult People, which was one of my favorite shows. I'm not a giggler, but I support them from afar, Like, I support all of the work that they're doing, and this is really freaking cool and impressive. And it's going to be on Netflix, so good job, ladies. Another paycheck that is going to be going into your deep, deep wallet, so mazel tov. Okay, one other thing, Lisa Kudrow, famous from being on Friends, Phoebe Buffet. She was on a show called The Comeback that originally ran on HBO for a single season back in 2005. then it got canceled. Then 9 years later came back for a second season with 8 episodes. And now 12 years after that, we are now seeing Valerie Cherish, Lisa Kudrow's iconic role in The Comeback, coming back for another season. It came out last week. I haven't had a chance to watch, and I need to because I loved The Comeback, but it was one of those shows that, like, I feel like it's like the last season of Arrested Development where it's like, you know, it's going to be a little cringe, but you have to watch because you're a fan. So I feel like I'm kind of in that position. And I do feel like I need to watch seasons 1 and 2 again. Like, it's been a while. Like, it's been since probably like early COVID when I got into The Comeback. So I'm definitely excited to see that. And if you guys don't know, The Comeback is a show about Valerie Cherish, who is a former sitcom star who attempts to revive her career by starring in her own reality show, you know, that documents her return into television as a supporting character on, you know, a new series. And it's really great. It's really meta because we're all obviously listening to the show and are interested in reality television. So it's definitely great and super funny. So that's definitely on my radar. Okay, you guys, that's all we could talk about today because I got some shit to do. I see emails coming through and I need to be an adult and actually do my job. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys sticking by me during, you know, transition periods. Transitions are hard for everybody. And I'm just doing the best I can. And I know you guys are out there doing the best you can too. So thank you for listening. Subscribe, rate, review, all the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Megan the Podcaster. I'm so cute. There will be great little videos of this here episode. And thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your week and hit me up in the DMs. Again, TBD if I'll actually respond, but I'm doing the best I can, people. Thanks for listening. Bye. New episodes of the I Know You Didn't Ask podcast are out every Monday and Friday, available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube.